everyone, Agent Dominique Stapleton here. I've been getting a lot of inquiries lately as we get closer to the 2021 NBPA exam. And I know a lot of you have been asking like, hey, Dominique, what should I expect from this test? You know, where can I find some sample questions? So today I'm going to go over a few tips and tricks. If you click the link below, if you are one of those people where you're looking for sample questions, I do have a midterm review where you would get 20 questions and answers. It will be done virtually, timed as well. So it'll put you in the mindset of actually taking the exam. You'll get 2 30-minute sessions with me, as well as a study guide and binder essential. So that package is available. Just click the link in the description below. But today's video, we're going to talk about just some tips to studying and some tips to actually taking the test, because I'm a really good test taker, and I think that those skills that I've used in previous tests actually helped me with the NBPA exam, because unlike you guys, I didn't have anybody giving me these tips and tricks. I went in very blind. So to start with studying, if you have not printed out the CBA, the agent regulations, then you need to print that out, because what people don't realize is when you go into the test, you have to be there with that binder, not that computer that you've been studying with. So it is very important for you to organize your binder and be familiar with it. So if it's a question about a designated player, you know exactly what section of your notebook or that of your binder that those questions are, or that those notes are, so you can flip right there. If it's something about BRI, you can go right there, because the last thing you want to be doing is shuffling through pages. I mean, you have about 3 minutes for every question, and you need to maximize that time. That brings me to my second tip. Make sure that you separate the sections in some type of way, whether it is a sticky notes. That's what I use. So I had sticky notes like coming on the front of the paper and on the side of the paper, and it would have specific topics or questions, like questions about trades, simultaneous trades, non-simultaneous trades, and I had them all throughout my binder, so I can easily flip to exactly what page I needed to go to. And also I put the post-it notes on the portion of the page where the question was, so where the answer was. So if it was something that was more over on the bottom of the page, I would have a tab coming out at the bottom. If it was like at the top, the tab would be coming out at the top. And that's just something that I did. Now moving forward into the actual exam, one major tip: go through and only answer the questions that you know. From test taking, what I've realized is when I go through and I answer the questions that I know, it builds confidence as I'm going through. I'm like, oh, this isn't that hard. The moment that I find a question that's like Spanglish to me, instantly my brain comes to a block, right? And you don't want to have that block, because once again, we have 3 minutes to go through each question. And what you want to do is make sure that you have enough time to go back through and really dive in the text to find the answers that you don't know, because it's open book at the end of the day. Another thing that going through the exam once and answering the questions that you know will do is allow you to gain context clues from the other questions on the exam that might tie back to that question that you don't know. So just go through the exam once, answer all the questions that you know. The ones that you don't know or that you think are close, put a question mark by, or come back to it. Another thing that I do is I read through the entire question, and then I read through all the answers. This is multiple choice. The answer is there for you. If you eliminate the BS that they throw in there to throw you off, you have a better chance. You have now eliminated 2 out of the 4 options, or 2 out of the 5 options, and the probability of you getting that answer correctly goes higher. And that's even if you, from Adam and Eve, don't know what the answer is. If you went through the entire test and you say, oh, well, this was the answer to the designated player question, this can't be the same answer for the trade exception question. You've already eliminated that. And those are just a few tips and tricks that I use when studying and when actually taking the test to ultimately pass. So if you guys need, like I said, we're about a month out for the exam. If you guys need some study materials, if you need to get some sessions with me to fine tune some things, if you want to do the sample exam, I have the midterm review package below. Click the link, send me an email. My calendar is below to schedule a time to talk to me. I'd love to hear from you about your journey. Oh, and before we go, as you see, I have my sports agent hoodie on the Not the Athlete website. I also have something for all you aspiring agents. So use the code below to get your future agent sweatshirt, t-shirt, or hoodie at nottheathlete.com.